How about that for a morning view? We're by the coast again. Now it is a bit breezy, so I'm going to try and keep facing this way because that might shield the mic a little bit. You can see the remnants there of the sunrise, which literally lasted about a minute. So we're in a new location. I've not been here before. We walked down onto the beach last night to have a scout around, but everything looks so different in the daylight. It's ridiculous. What we have got is, you're going to struggle to see them, beautiful rocks covered in algae, seaweed, that should start glowing beautifully green when the sun pops its head up over there. Now last night and today for me is more about it being my first night away in Maddie. We've rocked up into the car park at Spittal Point. There's a couple of other camper vans there. And I've had a lovely evening. I popped the roof up. I didn't need the heater on. I put it on for about half an hour because I needed to cook some tea, and I had lovely homemade beef stew. I had a cup of tea and then I pulled the bed out and I went to bed. So I didn't do too bad for sleep at all last night. And look at these rocks. Let's see if I can just tilt you down. No, not that way. There we go, that's better. The little rock pools, the green algae and stuff, it's gorgeous. Anyway, I digress. I fired off a shot with the sunrise colour that we got, and as I say, it literally lasted a minute. Certainly not a lot more than that. And now it's just a case of having a wander around. The beach is beautiful. The bit where you can see Andy, it holds the water. So you get beautiful lines going down, which we were going to try and make use of, but we didn't. And for the first time ever, Andy overslept. So I'd say I fired one shot off. It's not going to be anything spectacular, simply because I don't know the location. I couldn't see a composition immediately, and sunrise was so quick. So that's my list of excuses out of the way. So I say today is about having a wander around. There's some rocks. You can see the headland. Well, along here, there are apparently some gorgeous rocks, which we're going to go and investigate. The tide is on its way out, so we've got plenty of time. I'm going to try and concentrate more on detail, landscapes, intimate landscapes within the bigger landscape. So maybe not a true seascape landscape video, but hopefully something a little bit different. And at the end of the day, if I don't get any photos, I really don't care. I'm at the seaside, it's not raining, it's lovely and mild. Life just doesn't get much better. Sometimes the nicest photos happen when you don't expect them. Whilst I was just talking to you, I'd wandered off and I'd left the camera shooting a long exposure. And as I stopped recording, I thought, that'll be nicely overexposed then. I'd got the 10 stop on because I fancied a long exposure. There's a little bit of a breeze, but not really enough to make the clouds move. But it gives me that nice milky effect on the water. So I kind of rushed back over and thought, oh, God, this is going to be awful. And I'll show you what I've got. So, essentially, that's my view. It's really difficult to see the rocks and the lovely green colour on them because the light is coming in this way. So that's basically the composition. And I ended up, there we go, which I kind of quite like. And there's really not much to it. But yeah, I kind of quite like that. So it's strange the things that happen when you're not concentrating on what you should be doing. The important information. We were shooting at f13. I'd upped the ISO to 200 because I was shooting with the 10 stop and a 0.6 ND grad, just to even the sky colour out a little bit, and it was making the exposure time far. Shall I try that again? It was making the exposure far too long. So I upped the ISO to 200 and I ended up with an exposure time of 282.1 seconds, because as you all know, it's that 0.1 that makes all the difference. Well, we've had a lovely relaxed morning shooting down at the water's edge. Not got anything spectacular, but it was beautiful just being out at the coast. So we've moved a little further up the beach towards the cliff face, which you can just see the headland sticking out there. And we've found these rocks. When I say found, I watched a vlog by a gent whose name unfortunately escapes me because I have a lousy memory, but I will put a link to his blog below. And it was watching that made me want to come here. And the rock formations, it's like something out of the Jurassic era. And there's a place out in, I think it's the States, might be Canada, and it's called Antelope Rocks, Antelope Canyon, something like that. Again, memory, brain fade, I'll put a link below. The shapes, the textures, so you might just be able to make out these beautiful textures and the lines and the curves. Oh, it's absolutely fabulous everywhere. You get little puddles of water, little pools, and you can see just reflecting the clouds in the sky. And the colours, the layers, absolutely amazing. Really is a cracking little spot. We're going to take a wander further along the coastline, around the headland, to see if we can find any more of this. But it's just, look at this. It's different shapes. I'm hoping you can see this as well as I can. It really is absolutely amazing. There's Andy, hard at work. The things photographers do to get the shot. Oh, it is mind-blowing, because there's so many options, so many compositions. Now, I haven't bought the macro lens with me, which I'm kind of kicking myself about. Let me just turn you around a second. That's better. Now, I haven't bought the macro lens with me, so I'm just utilising the 17-55, which is reasonably good. I'm shooting at f5.6, I'm shooting handheld. My ISO I'm varying depending on what the light's doing, but I've been up as high as 400 ISO and down as low as 100. And it's just trying to pick out abstract shapes, pick out the lines. So it's the intimate landscapes rather than the big vistas, and it makes a change. I'm kind of finding it a bit difficult because there's just so much to look at and so many options. But I've got a few that I think I'm happy with, and it's probably the sort of images that will make up a triptych. They'd work together as a group of images. And Andy's just said to me he hasn't been this excited about photography in a long while. And sometimes it takes something different to the big vistas, the lakes, the mountains, the waves crashing over the rocks. It takes something like that to get you going again and to refresh you. And much as I love doing seascapes and mountains and reflections, this, yeah, it gets your juices flowing a bit. It makes you think creatively. And yes, you do help Mother Nature along a little bit, and you do place stones to help complete the image. But I don't care about that. It's, yeah. I'm going to stop waffling, go take some photos. See you later. So I've just put breakfast on, kettle's boiling, porridge as always, and a cup of tea. But oh, it's absolutely fabulous. I'll take you outside, show you around. The church bells are ringing, which means it's probably 10 o'clock, I think. Let's say the Wallas heater takes about 5 minutes to heat up, which is fine. It's given me time to take the window blinds down, because it has thermal cab blinds, sort of lined silver on the outside, black on the inside, and they've got little suckers that stick them onto the screens. So it's given me time to put those away, put the roof up, get myself sorted out, and I'm not in any rush. There's no point in rushing. But how's that for a view? Lighthouse out on the end. As I say, when I got here last night, there were 2 other vans, a big proper motorhome, and there's a converted transit there called Frid. And that was it. Some people pulled in later on in the evening, but they pulled in and they went away again. I was kind of waiting for a knock on the door saying, you shouldn't be sleeping here. But it is a known spot. There've bins provided. Oh, it's absolutely wonderful. So, it looks like my kettle is boiling. I don't know if you'll probably not be able to see in there. Oh, you might do. Yeah, so it's time for breakfast. Thanks for watching. It's been a bit different, maybe not to everybody's cup of tea, but a change is as good as a rest. And I will catch up with you lot next Sunday. Bye for now.